The man you date is a reflection of you. If he is not investing in you, investing in your education, investing in your mind, helping you win, you have no business being around that person. So if you're dating losers and you're dating people that don't view you in a high manner, you don't view yourself in that manner. Stop dating losers, babe.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how several women who have already hit the wall share their advice with younger women about what kind of man is worth considering, which ones should be immediately ruled out, and what things should never be accepted on a date. If you enjoy this content, leave a like and subscribe. We're on our way to 150,000 subscribers, and with your support, we're gonna crush that goal. Drop your experience or opinion on these cases in the comments. And without further introduction, let's get started.
Ladies, a lot of you are still single because you've become the full package. You've become smart, successful, beautiful, independent women, all the things society has pressured you to be. And ironically, that may have actually become a disadvantage or even a liability for you in dating. And this is for a few reasons. The first is because we as women are hypergamous, which means we like to date men who are on our level or above. And so the more you elevate, the smaller your dating pool becomes. There aren't as many guys you're impressed by. The second reason is you might be operating in your masculine energy because you've had to get to where you're at in life. But the men you are trying to attract prefer women who are in their feminine energy. And the last reason, as a matchmaker, I can tell you this, is a lot of guys claim they want an equal, but really what they want is an asset and a woman who makes them feel masculine. And what makes men feel masculine? Providing. So if you come along and you're all these things, he might think there's nothing I can provide her with that she can't provide herself with. So he's not going to pursue you. And that might make you feel like you're going to have to settle for less or stay single forever. And I don't think you have to do either of those things. You do have solutions. The first is put yourself in environments where you're exposed to higher caliber men. A lot of you aren't doing that. The second is learn to master your feminine energy. And if you don't know where to start, I have a free video linked in my bio. Check it out. Also, maybe think about areas you were willing to compromise on. Is there wiggle room with height? Is there wiggle room with kids? Is there wiggle room with being bald or not? And the last is maybe think about hiring a matchmaker like me or someone who can really set you up with these guys. Follow me for more dating advice and good luck.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Look, from my point of view as a man, it's almost comical to see those groups of women in upscale bars, dressed to the nines, drinking only water while waiting for a millionaire to show up and choose them. In the end, many of them just end up being a one-night companion for guys who are only looking for something quick. And they convince themselves they found that so-called top 10% man. Then comes the collective self-deception. Plus, this idea that they're single because they're the total package or overqualified just sounds absurd to me. It's like telling an unemployed man that he can't get a job because he's overqualified for everything. It's ridiculous, but that narrative sticks, and that's why you see them hitting 30 or older thinking they're too much for any man. The only thing that's really too much is their age and the inflated ego built by a market that sold them a fairy tale with a happy ending that never comes.
Here are 5 things that a high-value woman or highly desired woman should require in order to fully commit to a man. Number 1, that her man be the full provider and provide for her completely. She should not commit to any man who is not the breadwinner in the relationship. Number 2, she should always make sure that not only is he searching for a wife, but that he is also looking to be a husband. A lot of men want women to be these amazing dream wives and dream girls and have all these perfect qualities, but they themselves don't even know what it is to be a husband. They're not prepared to be a husband, and they're not prepared to lead a woman, a family. If you are going to commit fully on a girlfriend level, you definitely want to make sure that he's looking for a wife. And you must only give him 1 year of your time to propose to you. Highly desired women know what they want, and they're not going to wait on anybody to get their act together, to save up to buy a ring. You have 1 year. 1 year. After a year, ladies, time to move on. You do not want to waste your youth on a man who doesn't know what he wants, and you will easily become the placeholder. That's where we see women that are in relationships for 5 years, kids out of wedlock, and everything is just backwards. And now she's just staying because she's wasted so much time. She wants to get something out of it. What is she hoping for? A ring. 1 year leads to 2 years, leads to 3, leads to 4. Cut it off. Number 3, a highly desired, high-value woman is also going to require that she is the only woman in his life. Highly desired women do not tolerate cheating, other women, other options, backup plans. No, baby. I'm not even my dad's second daughter. I come second to nobody. Number 4, a highly desired woman is also going to require that her man must always stick up for her, speak highly of her behind his back, and never let anybody disrespect her. He must be a overall protector. This is stuff that you will be able to see in the dating phases, ladies. So don't think that you have to be in a committed relationship and in a marriage to see it. You'll be able to see it even in the dating phases. What are some things that you require in order to fully commit to a man in a relationship? I want to hear some of your guys' input. Please leave a comment down below. Bye!
To the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no.
This, my friend, is what I call a woman who becomes your financial ruin. The kind of woman who talks about being high value is really just high maintenance. She doesn't help you grow, spends money like there's no tomorrow, and she's the first to walk away when things get tough. And the worst part, she won't do anything for you. Zero loyalty, zero support, just constant demands. The most ironic part is that she's already in her 30s, right in the middle of the wall, and still clinging to those unrealistic standards, thinking she deserves a top 1% man. Later, you'll see her chasing after a beta provider, looking for financial security, because she couldn't find a man willing to put up with that mindset. Brothers, don't be the ATM for these women.
I'm going to share with you guys some of the dating non-negotiables that I had when I was dating. They're pretty strict, but I mean, I was not going to waver because I had a good life without a man, and I was not about to have another life with a man that's worse. Close girlfriends where they say I love you to each other. Go to hell. I do not subscribe to this American bullshit. I'm Middle Eastern. Why are you guys saying I love you to each other, and why are you guys talking all the time? Like, what does this woman have to give you, and what do you have to give to this woman? It's not for me. Expecting me to provide and bear children. Again, you can go to hell. I'm not even explaining that one. Calling me out of my name. If you are going to disrespect me early on, then I can only imagine what you're going to do as time goes on, and I'm not about to stick around to find out. Me having to repeat a boundary several times. Either you're not a fast learner or you're stupid. Either way, you're not for me. Alcoholics that hide themselves as people who like to have fun. Are you drinking to have fun, or are you drinking and having fun? Because I don't need an alcoholic. This is very specific, but the men who played a sport and never went pro, for whatever reason, like, these humans can never get over it, and they're always like, it's their personality. Speaking of personalities, the tortured artist whose like trauma is their personality, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to do this whole like, oh, you're so complex, and like, go to hell. The only complex person is going to be me. Men who make comments about other women's choice of clothing, their bodies, or anything in regards to women's business. Because why are you in it? Men who've repeatedly dated a specific type of woman, and I'm not that type of woman. I don't know if that shit is not going well for you and now you're trying to break the mold, but I'm not about to be the one that you're going to break the mold with. And lastly, men who are obsessed with their male friends. I do not have time to stick around and figure out whether or not you're actually an undercover homosexual. Like, I'm so sorry.
Here we see a single woman at the wall. And just by hearing her say she has a good life without a man and isn't willing to be with another man, it's clear she's deep into the wall. Because as we all know, the wall doesn't forgive. When you see a woman who doesn't even want you to call her something affectionate, like, my love, it's a sign she's fully connected to masculine energy. Personally, I'm not into women with that kind of attitude because it feels like I'm with another man. I like a woman who, even if she's reserved, still carries a feminine energy. Someone who can be strong with the outside world, but soft with her man. A woman like this, with that kind of mindset, believe me, you'll never be able to build something meaningful with her. That's why she says she's living a good single life. It's just that no one can put up with her.
Women.
Ladies, if you are beautiful, smart, and successful, it is my personal and professional opinion as a matchmaker that you will have by far the hardest time in dating, okay? Because you're a unicorn, and those qualities, that's a lethal combination that a lot of men, let's be honest, can't handle. They feel insecure in your presence, not because you try to intimidate them, but because they will fear that you are eventually going to find someone better and leave them. So a lot of them will not commit to women like you because they feel like you're too good for them and they're not going to be able to offer you anything. And they will settle instead for women who are, don't hate me for saying this, but one-dimensional. Okay. Example, like beautiful, but nothing upstairs, or really brainy, but a little more plain Jane, because that makes these men feel more masculine. It makes them feel like they have more control and it's a little bit more safe. Okay. Everyone is risk averse. And so it's a risk thing. They feel like you're high risk. And this is why, by the way, women like Amal Clooney, Paris Hilton, these brilliant powerhouse women, they stay single a long time. They don't get married till like their mid 30s or 40s because the men that they will be attracted to who will be able to handle them, that's a small dating pool. It takes longer to meet those guys. And the women who don't do that, who date down, a lot of times those relationships have resentment and it just crumbles. So I think it's better to wait for the right person, no matter how long it takes, because you know you're a unicorn and you know you're special and you know your worth, and the right person will too. Follow me for more dating tips and good luck.
Stop it. Get some help.
Going down that path is exactly how you end up single. First of all, comparing yourself to a spoiled rich girl when you were raised without a father figure is just absurd. Being beautiful, smart, and successful is not an excuse to believe you're some kind of unicorn. What they don't say is that many women like you don't know how to be a partner. You just want an emotional and financial provider who'll tolerate your ego. If you pay attention, the women who have long, stable marriages tend to be simple women who bet on a man's potential and build something with him. But what this woman is promoting is the idea of waiting at the finish line for the winner, expecting him to choose her because he'll recognize her value. You know what men see in that? A woman who'll only be an expense, a relationship that smells like emotional debt, and an expensive divorce down the road. It's not fear. It's wisdom.
Please don't make this mistake when you start dating again. You need to ask these questions early on, and remember, the feeling of butterflies can actually be your nervous system telling you that you need to be on alert when you're with that person. If he doesn't want to talk to you about the future and what his goals are, family-wise, business-wise, relationship-wise, he's probably not ready for real commitment. Ask questions like, what are some of the top qualities you look for in a partner? Is it a superficial response that he gives you? So you need to ask him, what is his favorite quality about himself? Is it that he's disciplined? Or is he like a free spirit and go with the flow kind of guy? Because that's not a good husband. That's a good time. You need to ask yourself these questions early on so that you save yourself from disappointment. And I want you to remember, always know your worth.
If you start the date asking questions like it's a job interview, you're going to kill the vibe completely. That's why I always go for something simple like grabbing a coffee. It gives you the chance to talk calmly, get to know her interests, and see if there's real chemistry. If she starts digging into your financial future right off the bat, to me, that's a huge red flag. It feels like she's just looking for an ATM instead of showing interest in your passions, your hobbies, or the places you'd love to travel to. When she hits you with a, where do you work? How much do you make? How are you going to support a family? Believe me, that's the perfect recipe to make you want to run from that date. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think about these women and the advice they give? Have you ever been to one of those places where women usually go looking for high-value men? What's your take on the vibe there? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.